Hello, right? This is my feedback to your evidence paragraph from last week. It's not really a paragraph, but of course you didn't have a model. But anyways, what you've done here is quite good actually. You've really understood the task and most importantly the three terms: sufficiency, relevance, and representativeness. What I'm seeing here shows me that you have grasped what you need to do. Now in the exam, of course, you would need to first write an identification paragraph stating the supporting idea and listing and describing all the evidence used for that idea, and then you would write the evaluation paragraph. All of it should be one continuous paragraph, right? Not in sections. Now you know this better, obviously. Okay, so let's see what you've done here. So the supporting idea you've selected is that internships are thinly veiled diversity programs are thinly veiled internships. Okay. We need a little bit more for the supporting idea. He said this and it took him in the direction of whether they're legal or not. And that's not the direction you're pursuing here. So I think your supporting idea could be that there is systemic bias in those diversity programs. I think the evidence that you are using would match that supporting idea very well. So supporting idea should be, this evidence would match the idea that diversity programs, there is systemic bias in them in the tech field, right? So the first stage is to make sure that your supporting idea matches the evidence and vice versa. So this supporting idea about internships, about diversity programs being thinly veiled internships, leads to another piece of evidence about the legality. Are they legal or not? And the speaker was trying to prove that they're not. But then the evidence he uses is different for that. So let's assume now that you've clarified the supporting idea. What you've done is very good here. So is the evidence sufficient? Well, he's using a few advertisements for a job, a few emails, this and that. He shows websites and all that. But as you point here, it would be better if he gave more evidence, absolutely, rather than offering only two examples. Exactly, two examples cannot prove such a general claim. He's making a very big sweeping generalization about all diversity programs across America, programs in the tech field. He's making a very big claim, and if you make a big claim you would need a lot more evidence than just those two examples. I mean, he gives more than two examples, but even those are not sufficient. You would need a lot more. And here, as you're saying, he should have included also some statistical data. Particularly, it would be good if you say what kind of statistical data, showing what. So here you could expand a tiny little bit on this one. Statistical data proving that the majority of internship programs in the tech field do indeed discriminate candidates on the basis of gender and race and whatnot. So we need more of that, more statistical data, as you say. So the first section is quite good here. You have established the lack of sufficiency very well. As far as the relevance, you're saying that there is a connection between the claim and the evidence. However, these two internships are used to show the invisible inequity and diversity. It's not a however, you're continuing. Okay, very good. So you're saying that it is relevant to the claim. Sure, okay, if that's how you want to do it, you can answer it positively, no problem. Now, I would expand a little bit on this. these two internship programs are used to show the invisible inequity and in diversity, you would need to expand a little bit here. Just explain a little bit more. Now, of course, in your paragraph you only have 200 words. You cannot go to great lengths, but maybe another sentence maybe here would be good to show that, okay, in his argument he's talking about systemic bias, and some of these, the evidence here, you would name it. So for instance, there was an email from the Oracle company. They were looking for an intern. Specifically, they were targeting minorities. So you would say the evidence, for instance, the email from Oracle targeting specific minorities is relevant because it is clearly linked to the speaker's idea that some of these programs are discriminatory by attracting certain minorities and excluding others. So you would just add a little bit to explain what this connection is, right? A little bit more. You've done it here, you've done it okay here, but just a little bit more to match the claim of the speaker, the supporting idea, and also the exact evidence. You would name the evidence also. Okay. So expand on this a little bit. Again, not much because you only have 200 words. As far as representativeness, you're saying that it's not known whether the evidence is chosen randomly or not. Again, you want to say a little bit more, but your idea is good though. Again, he's using these two examples of internships, and even if they were randomly chosen, it's only two. So for them to be representative, yes, he would need a much larger sample. That's what you can say. He would need a much larger sample, randomly selected, of various internship programs in the tech field, which would then help to establish whether these two examples that he shows are actually typical examples. Do they represent the average American internship in the tech field? Right? So again, you would just expand this a little bit. But overall, you've understood the three categories, and that's pretty good. So this is a good start. Next week there'll be more clarification, another model coming up on Monday, and there'll be another round of practice because you will do the mock exam. So you'll go through the whole thing, the whole process, and things will be even more clearer. But this is a good start. Okay, alright, I hope this is helpful to you. Good work.